Yo, what up guys, B5D here. I have some exciting news coming up in Raid Shadow Legends that you might want to take full advantage of, and I also want to talk about some new events that popped up in game, whether you're going for the fusion or you're going for this brave deck of fate. I want to talk about those two things according to what my account is doing about it in Raid today. Alright, the first news that is coming up that you will have a huge benefit from is this regular 100% gear removal cost that is coming up. As soon as we get this new rotation of the Corset City, they usually launch this type of events, which allows you to remove or swap gear on your champions totally without cost. If you try to remove your gear from a champion right now, it will cost you a huge amount, but if you wait for that event starting on the 19th, which is tomorrow, it will last for 3 whole days. There will be no cost for removing your gear from your champions, so that's the best time to go over there and swap or build your best teams, right? Hopefully it aligns with the artifact enhancement, because we currently have one that is about to expire in a few hours. All right, so that's the biggest news that's coming up starting tomorrow. I will be rebuilding my Hydra team and maybe my Chimera team during that event. All right, so apart from that news, the next biggest one that is coming up, before I go over there and talk about the fusion update and count how many fragments I have so far, the biggest event that everybody's talking about is this deck of fate. If you're going for the fusion, you look at this event and you turn the other way, because you simply do not have the energy required to farm all the dungeon divers required to get all these card flips. Deck of fate requires you to get some points, 1000 points per card flip over here, and it will cost you a total of 40,000 points to flip all the cards right here, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40,000 points right here is what you need to flip all the cards. And how can you get these points? From dungeon divers and from summoning soulstones. Those are the only two ways: dungeon divers and soulstones. You know, dungeon divers is already hard enough as it is. Using dungeon divers to get an entire legendary champion is not possible. Yes, that's the reward you get for flipping all the cards. You get 100 fragments of this Knave of Hearts, one of these champions that was launched as part of this Alice in Wonderland promo events, right? So this is the second time or the third time they're giving us Knave of Hearts. And I'm thinking, I've skipped out on the first time. Is it this one I want to go for? While I went in there and count how many soul stones I have, because that's a reasonable way to complete this event, not with dungeon divers, with soul stones. If you've been saving the big boy soul stone, 4,000 per one will get you points right here, and that means you need 10 eternal soul stones to get this legendary champion to flip all the cards. Now you might not need to flip all the cards if you're lucky enough to flip only 35 cards or only 30 cards if you're lucky. Knowing my luck, I probably have to flip all the way to the 40th card to get all the fragments of that Knave of Hearts. So that's the best way to complete it if you have 10 eternal soul stones. I checked my resources, I have only 2 eternal soul stones saved up right here. You can also mix it up with immortal soul stones, and I looked about, what is it, 20 if you do the maths, since you need what, 40,000 points, 800, you're gonna need 50 immortal soul stones, the middle soul stones. 50, that's a lot. I had about 20 last time. Right now I have only 10, so I'm nowhere near. From my points I currently have for soul stones, I'll be able to pick up a total of 20,000 points. I checked. So with mortal soul stones, immortal soul stones, and eternal, I can maybe get 20,000 points combined with the dungeon divers I'm currently doing. So when we checked out the fusion calendar and we said there is no dungeon diver coming up on, today is Tuesday, there's no dungeon divers here. I knew there will be an event that they will use to replace dungeon divers. So this is the dungeon divers they're using to replace the one that was supposed to be in this fusion to help you farm ice golem, to help you farm champion training. It's all these dungeon divers that is going on right now. Of course, it's not going all the way to Saturday, but it's going to end in 3 days time or so. So take note of this as you're farming your ice golem tomorrow for this fusion that is kicking off. Ice golem kicks off, and champion training that is going on right now, you'll be picking off points for these dungeon divers. Or if you've not completed your dragon yet, if you're still farming your dragon right here, you're still getting some dungeon divers points, but that's not anywhere enough to get all the points required to flip all the cards. Maybe as you flip some cards, maybe you get some of these dungeon divers normal resources you see from the dungeon divers, including maybe get lucky enough to get a legendary skill tome, a primal shard, a 4-star, a speed glyph. So these are all awesome resources to pick up along the way. This one does not allow you to pin cards, right? No, it doesn't allow you to pin cards. I'll just go ahead and flip one and see what I mean. So it doesn't ask you to pin card to get triple of the same color and get something amazing. So there's no pinning here involved. But I got 3 fragments right there for this champion. It's quite tempting. But if you've not decided, you might want to go check out the champion's skills to then decide whether this Knave of Hearts is even worth all this effort. I currently not that fussed about getting this champion, to be honest. A champion who does A1 provoke, each hit has a 30% chance booked up to a 50% chance of placing provoke for 1 turn. Each hit also heals the ally with the lowest HP by 3% of this champion's max HP. A champion will be built in high HP, that is. So accuracy and high HP, A1 provoke, 50% chance of landing it. Feels like a skill that an epic champion should have, right? A1 provoke, 1 turn provoke. But then the second part of healing 3% of this champion max HP, that's why it's a legendary skill, I guess, on an A1. Still, this provoke should be at least 70%, maybe. That's what I think. Let's see, on an A2, has a 75% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from each target. Stealing 2 random buffs from each target is good. And booked up to a 100% chance of stealing 2 random buffs. Normally, enemies don't have more than 2 buffs. Hardly you see enemies with 3-4 buffs, right? And places 2 continuous heal buff on all allies except this champion. That's a full team healing right there with the continuous heal, and then an unkillable buff and a taunt on this champion. This champion is calling for all the damage, so when he places the buff, a taunt, that means this champion will be the one to be targeted. This feels like a skill you normally find in a mythical champion, right? This taunt is quite scarce in raid, and whenever you see a champion with taunt, it means that this champion is built for PvP, right? So normally we see champions with taunt like this for PvP, but definitely can be used in PvE content also, with this continuous heal that is being placed and removing buffs from the enemies. Then let's see if I'll be even be impressed by the A3. Swaps HP with a target enemy, not a target ally, a target enemy, and places heal reduction on them for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be removed, transferred, or have its duration decreased. Of course, it doesn't happen on bosses, right? Then equalizes the HP levels of all allies. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the same as this champion, as the one with the highest HP, I mean. Also places increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. So I think the first part wasn't good enough, the second part wasn't good enough, now the third part, increased defense, makes this skill a little bit worth the while. You not see a lot of champions in raid doing this HP swap strategy because it's not a viable way of dealing with heal in raid. But whenever it happens, it's kind of hard to deal with, especially for teams that go second. If this champion goes second, if you try to nuke this champion and you cannot kill him, and it swaps HP and then gets a ton of HP and equalizes it to everybody in the team, that just seems like you didn't do any nuke in the first place. So that can be quite annoying to deal with, especially when the HP of your weakest champion is swapped, or your strongest champion is swapped, like a tanky champion or somebody like that. The bad part is this skill will need accuracy, right? It's not like it cannot be resisted or anything. It still will need accuracy to land this HP swap and the heal reduction. But the increased defense feels like it's going to be useful in PvE, I guess. So heal reduction on that ally will you swap, on that enemy will you swap HP with. At the start of this champion's turn, fully restores this champion destroyed max HP. Where is that useful these days? In PvE. So I'm thinking this champion is built for PvP. But here we go with destroyed max HP, which indicates that this champion can be used in some content that destroys your max HP. When attack, destroys the attacker's max HP by 20% of the damage received. Now this is also useful in PvP. If you destroy the max HP enough, if the battle goes on long enough, they can heal to full and they'll be easily killed. Stacks up to 50% of destroying the enemy's max HP by 20% of the damage received. Alright, HP in all battles, I hope you have 30%. This champion can be used in a lot of places. So from what I've seen so far, the skills are not anything special that I'm thinking, ooh, I need this desperately. Hydra, maybe. A1 provoke, I want it to be a 70%. All this healing, this ton of healing, and being the taunt target with the taunt, unkillable, not being able to be killed easily. The swapping of HP won't work against bosses, so that's kind of useless there. but at least an increased defense come and hopefully can still equalize HP even if it's not swapped, right? This skill can still do the HP equalizing even if it's against bosses that cannot swap any HP with them. Alright, so this feels like a champion that I can do without. So even if I had 10 Eternal Soulstones right now on my account, I probably still won't summon from this champion. From what I've seen about this kit, it feels like it's one that is easily replaceable with any other tanky champion in raid that cannot be killed or that has already a taunt. If I go through my account and look for champions with taunt with this filter in here, let me see if I have a replacement for taunt, because that's the biggest thing I feel like this champion brings to raid. Check out buffs, check out taunt. I feel like this champion does more already. I mean, it's not the same kit, it's not the same skill, but I feel like a taunt, an unkillable too. This is not just unkillable on himself, he places unkillable on all allies. Places a taunt and a shield on himself. No, on everybody too, on this champion for 2 taunts. See, he also gets the unkillable. The unkillable is for 2 taunts also. So I feel like if I have an Emic who is a void legendary, a tank, HP base 2, right? HP base 2. Shield doesn't bring the healing though. I don't see the healing. No healing here like the other champion does. So I feel like this is the only real reason that anybody will want to go for this champion. This taunt. And if you have a champion placing taunt and unkillable, not just on themselves but on everybody else, I don't mean to compare 2 legendary champions who have no similar skills, but the taunt is the pack that I desperately would need on content, and I feel like Emic will fill that role for me. There are epics who also have taunts, but they might not be for a longer time like this champion does. So you have to decide on your own whether you have the resources to go for Knave of Hearts. Take note, after this whole Alice in Wonderland campaign is concluded, this champion will still be available to be picked up from normal shard opening. So it's not an exclusive champion who cannot be picked up after this campaign period ends. So you have to decide on your own whether Knave of Hearts is worth the 10 Eternal Soulstones when there's no boosted Soulstone summoning event going on right now, or if you're doing it with Immortal Soulstones, there's no boosted rates event, so the portal right there is normal color, it's not glowing red or anything. So you will be doing all this at a normal rate. So you go over there and slide your 20 or 50, or you go over there and slide your 10 and get it done. If you don't have enough, you can always go over there and buy it, right? That's why I think this event is out there for you to go to the shop and buy some Eternal Big Boy Soulstones. Spend some money if you want that champion, but I don't want this champion. I have a replacement, or I don't have any particular place where I want to use Knave of Hearts. Now, if they do another opportunity for us to get Queen of Hearts herself, this is one I am looking forward to. I am looking for more chances to pick up the Queen of Hearts, not Knave of Hearts. I want Queen of Hearts. Now, if this was the Queen of Hearts, I'm willing to summon everything I have, or do all the energy into Dungeon Divers farming just to pick her up. But we'll look forward to get them giving us maybe one more opportunity of getting Queen of Hearts, which will be obtainable hopefully from a few shards or a lot of shards. I'm willing to sacrifice everything to get this Queen of Hearts, but not everything to get Knave of Hearts. They're similar names, right? Alright, that's how I feel about that event. I wanted to just share my opinion with you. It's a good champion, not just for my account, at my level. Now, if you don't have any taunt at all on your account, not even an epic taunt, or if that's a buff you're desperately looking for particular content, there you go. Or if you're happy about the healing, the amount of healing that champion brings to your team, maybe it's for you. Let me know if I'm wrong about my first impressions of this champion, because I've not used it, so I might be totally wrong or off about my opinions on the champion that I've not used. I'm just going by the skill and what I see in my account or champions in the game. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is this fusion fragments that we're going for so far for, what's her name now? Esme. Currently 70 fragments. 70 fragments right here, and I feel like that's where you should be if you've done all the events and tournaments that have come up so far, including the heroes part where you had to pick up 10 fragments from here, right? If I remove all this, 10 fragments from here, that's what normally people picked up, but I got 15 from here. So I should actually be at 75 fragments right now. So if I count how many more events have fragments for me, I probably need an additional 25 fragments and I'm done. So 25 fragments, that's 5 from here, 5 here, that's 10. Ice Golem is coming up, that's going to be 15. And champion training, I'm not done with champion training. 5 from here, that's 20. I need 5 from here too. Then gear enhancements, 5 from here. So basically I need 25 fragments. You notice that I'm going for all other events that don't have anything to do with shards. That's because this champion chase that is coming up, I'm going to totally skip out on it. Why? Because I went super hard on this hero's path and picked up 15 fragments. Remember, this entire event allows you to skip out on a total of 15 fragments, and I can skip out on the entire 15 from champion chase. I've already skipped out 10 from this hero's path. Now I can skip out on 15 from champion chase. If you've already skipped out on 15 from hero's path, then you cannot skip this champion chase. You have to pick up at least 5 from champion chase. But I have 15 from hero's path. I can skip out on the entire 15 fragments from champion chase. Even if it's gonna be most likely be a 2x on sacred event like people are speculating it should be, or it's gonna be, it depends. I don't feel like I should summon a lot of shards for hero's path, then summon more shards for champion chase, and I would be glad to have my shard count go up a little bit above, how many? 40 where it currently is right now, to maybe 50 by the end of that champion chase with all the new shards I will get from other resources. So even if I have enough shards, 40 shards, I'm not desperately looking forward to a champion chase event or a 2x on sacred event. I'm not interested in that right now on my account. I have a lot of champions to develop. I'd rather focus on that than getting new ones or getting +1s or even getting faction duplicate champions to put into each faction, right? So I will most likely be skipping out for that. But if you're preparing for that champion chase, you just need maybe 5 fragments from there. Take note that you can go to your summon pool if you have enough resources or enough energy. If you went for this summoning pool event right now where you have to farm the Sun Devil Necropolis, right, for that prism shard that they normally do. I'm looking for 2 events that will give us prism shards. So far we've seen only the Sun Devil Necropolis, and I have picked up 40 right there. I've not claimed it because I'm kind of 50-50 whether I want to claim it right now or I want to save it for the next time. Well, this might be a way for you to save it all the way to champion chase, because if you wait until Friday where this champion chase is coming up, right, on Friday, you can then summon your prism shard or your prism crystals for some more champion chase points in case you get a legendary or an epic. You're guaranteed to get an epic right here, which should be some points. So that's why I don't want to summon it right now or claim it right now. What do I think about the summon pool champions in there? I would love a Theodore the Savant, but if you're being honest with yourself, you're probably going to get an epic. So I don't feel like the headline champion, I don't know much about his kit or his skill. So I'd rather save it for the next time. I don't know, because I don't want to get points for that champion chase. That's why I'm kind of hesitant about spending that prism shard I just got from Sandel. Is there any other event that will give us more prism shard? So far it's just that tournament. Normally they give us 2 other events. Maybe by tomorrow we'll see another event that will come up with prism shards for us to pick up. Right now it's only that Sun Devil farming. If I maybe check the event calendar, maybe it hints towards that. Normally they shows that information in the events calendar. So that's my fusion plan so far. How far we've come so far, 70 or 75 fragments, and looking forward to skipping the champion chase entirely. Like I said, take note, if you did not go for the extra 5 in the hero's path, please don't skip the champion chase. Grab it, you need it. I don't need it on my account, and right now we can say officially the fusion has ended. All we have to do is wait for Ice Golem to start up tomorrow. And speaking about this champion training, check it out. It has some awesome rewards right after the fragment. At the second fragment, it has another reward that you might want to go all in for, which is a prism, not prism now, primal crystals or primal shards. So there you go. I might not just end here in this champion training. I might pick up this 7,850 points, which is totally worth it, by the way. Now, what about the 9,500? I don't think I'll have the energy for that, because after farming Sand Devil, after farming Champion Training, and have to save some energy for Ice Golem that is coming tomorrow, I'm kind of low on gems, currently sitting at 3,000 gems only. So the Ice Golem will cut me down a little bit further, all to get some Dungeon Divers point towards this brave deck of fate that we are not going all out for. We just want to pick some Dungeon Divers points along with it and call it a day. All right, that's the fusion information I want to share with you. Hopefully you're still in touch with this fusion. You're not currently at 50 fragments or something crazy like that. You should be at 70 at the end of today, because we still have Dungeon Divers that is about to expire right here, which I have, gear enhancement, artifact enhancement. I have 5 more fragments to pick up from here. I'll be going live on Twitch in a few hours to get this done, build a few champions, do a gear cleanse, so I can have some space for the Ice Golem farming that I'm about to do tomorrow. Alright, that's all I have for guys. Make sure you like, subscribe for more daily raid Shadow Legends content. Take full advantage of this news that is coming up for this free gear removal, and enjoy it for these 3 days that it's lasting. Later guys.